Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to this briefing on Saper 2021. I would like to welcome the Dean, Deputy Dean, HODs, CCAA, and respected staff as well. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for your attendance and presence today. Please allow me to first apologize for switching off my camera due to lateness issue, inshallah. And I would like to remind as well that to actually sign in to your attendance here. So first and foremost, this is the first slot by the coordinator. So inshallah we'll begin at 10:40 here right now until 12:30. The schedule would be as follows, as actually presented in the screen here. Basically, this is a briefing on Saper. The objective is basically to serve as a platform to communicate and a common understanding of the content of Saper 2021. In particular, both for those who have not been browsing through Saper even 2016, this might be a platform to be familiar. And for those who are already familiar with 2016 Saper, then this might be a platform to be updated on few changes for Saper 2021. And this will be the schedule. So inshallah, right now is the briefing by coordinator, and then we will invite the Dean to deliver his opening remarks, and the briefing will start explaining part 1 by Brother Izdihar, and then part 2 and part 3 by Brother Sufi, part 4 and part 5 by Brother Hafiz, part 6 and 2-9 at the end by Brother Izdihar again, and then we'll begin a Q&A session or arising matters at 12 p.m. Inshallah at 12:30 we will disperse. So that will be the schedule for today. Just to inform, for point number 3, the session will be recorded and will be made available to others, as this Google Calendar is inviting all academic staff, and the recording will be accessible in there. Now, point number 4 is that a quizzes test will be open to enhance the learning experience of this session, and getting full mark of these quizzes will entitle an extra CTD hours, so to further motivate for you to listen, and to allow other people who cannot attend this session live, since recording is available, so that they can do it in their free time, and be also participating in the quizzes as well, to still achieve the learning outcome, inshallah. So currently I have 28 questions done, and I'm going to further add after we've gone through this session, in case there is some interesting issues that is highlighted by the speakers, inshallah. And this quiz will be open until at the end of next week, inshallah. So please spread the word around in your department as well, that those who cannot come in the live session can also achieve the learning outcome, inshallah, after this, inshallah. And point number 5 is, do not forget to sign in the attendant. Without further ado, I would like to invite the Dean, for his welcoming remark for this session on briefing of Saper. Tafadhol, Tuan Haji.
Okay, syukran jazilan Brother Samshuddin Abdullah of Akil. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear all participants of the workshop or briefing today, the HODs, the academic advisors, the coordinators, and individual participants, brothers and sisters. So, alhamdulillah, first of all, I would like to congratulate all of you, and thanks for making yourself available despite your busy schedule. And in fact, I think it's still timely for me to wish all of you Selamat Tahun Baru 2022. Hopefully, this year will be more promising, as opposed to the previous 2021, and it is good stuff for us, to have ourselves in depth to the details, of whatever available in Saper. And I would like to also congratulate the organizing committee, in particular the Akil, as well as Odal, for initiating this what we call session, and inshallah, hopefully through this type of discussion that would make ourselves well versed, okay, with Saper of our own that is recently revised, and inshallah that hopefully would also make whatever what we call task entrusted to us smooth in accordance to the rules and regulations as endorsed by the university. So Saper, Student Academic Performance Evaluation, in bracket CFS. Actually, we have our own Saper since 2016, okay, November 2016. Prior to that, we were sharing a similar Saper with the one that is meant for the undergraduate and postgraduate students, okay, of the university. But due to the different nature of our structure, okay, courses offered and whatnot. So beginning from 2016, we decided, and of course, been approved by the relevant authorities that we have our own Saper. But with the recent amendment, okay, further, okay, review that was made in 2018, 2019, to the structure, okay, of our syllabus as well as to the arrangement of the what we call semester system. Instead of having 2 long semester plus 1 short semester, okay, beginning from 2019, we make some adjustment so that currently we are having 3 equal semester, okay, of 12-week length. Okay, so that this is the system that we have now, and on that basis, recently, in fact, last year, recently, in September, we managed to come up with a revised version of Saper after a number of discussion workshop, okay, together with the participants from representative of Ahmad, the academy, and of course the management team of CFS. Eventually, it was endorsed, okay, in is mistaken in 481 Senate 481 Senate yang ke-481 somewhere in September 2021, and this is the one that is officially used in monitoring, in dealing with issues related to academic performance of our students, okay, beginning from the current batch lah of students. So of course we are familiar with Saper, but probably we're not aware of some of the adjustment and amendment made to the Saper, and on that basis, in the recent CCM meeting, we have agreed, okay, for this session to be conducted, and alhamdulillah, it's being materialized today, okay, and hopefully this would be a fruitful discussion and have a fully participation from members, okay, of the meeting. And as I mentioned just now, the very purpose of having this briefing and discussion basically to give an insight to whatever that is available on Saper, and at the same time to give good understanding by highlighting some of the relevant issues that we are frequently faced, so that when we advise students, okay, give direction to students, so we are advising them in accordance to the rules and regulation as endorsed, okay, the policy of the university. So once again, thank you to everyone, and hopefully the discussion will be smooth, and above all, that hopefully this will be part and parcel of our amal soleh, okay, our contributions toward the success, okay, of the center as well as the university as a whole. So with that, aqulu qawli hadza astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Tuan Haji Murshid, for the welcoming remarks. Without further delay, let us begin the briefing session. I would like to invite Brother Sufyan to share his screen to share Saper document. And then inshallah, Brother Sufyan will be assisting the speakers, yeah, in highlighting any points in particular. Right, so while in the meantime, Brother Sufyan, can you share your screen? Okay, it's okay. He has trouble, so I'll probably share my screen. Tak apa.
Brother Samsudin, can I share my screen, Brother Samsudin?
Boleh. Can. Okay, better. Thank you very much. Okay, so I would like to invite Brother Izdiha to continue with starting the briefing, inshallah. Tafadhal mashkurah.
Thank you, Brother Samsudin. Brother Samsudin, actually the head of Akil, not the coordinator, head of Akil. We already endorsed that to Haji Murshid. head of Akil. Okay, currently for all the information of everybody, the head of Akil is directly under the dean, because technically the head of Akil is same level as KCA, already endorsed in CCM. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. My respected Tuan Haji Mursyid bin Kasim, Dean Center for Foundation Studies. Brother Taifun Hisham Taib. Brother Taifun Hisham is around, although he has a lot of headache now with the COVID and so on, but Alhamdulillah he's still around, and Deputy Dean of SDCE. Brother Samsudin, head of Akil. And then we have all the HODs, all the HODs are around. Okay, I have my team there, Brother Sufi, and also Brother Hafiz. Brother Hafiz, maybe you raise up your hand there. Brother Hafiz there. Is Brother Hafiz Al-Hafiz. For your information, he's from Darul Quran and our graduate. Both Brother Sufi and Brother Muhammad Hafiz is graduate of IUM, so they are very well versed with the IUM system. Okay, we have all the HODs, the academic advisors. I think I see all the academic advisors and all the respected lecturers. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So Alhamdulillah, grace to Allah SWT, and we meet again this year. Alhamdulillah, I think we have a brand new spirit. Although there are so many challenges the other day, last week actually, we are still reeling from the flood. I think Alhamdulillah, but today, I think the weather, according to the forecast, I think it should be okay today. And then by tomorrow, insyaAllah, the sunlight will be around again. Alhamdulillah, there is always the light at the end of the tunnel. And also our COVID-19 cases, is under control. I think according to Brother Taifun Hisham, no new cases today. I think Brother Taifun Hisham. I think we are looking forward to that. Under control, Brother Taifun Hisham says. Okay, so after this, we will go to Az-Zahrawi and so on and so forth. So Alhamdulillah, like what Brother Haji Mursyid mentioned just now. Okay, our initial sampai, maybe I share my screen first. I think Sister Maniza is still around there. She is well aware about our initial sampai back in 2016. Okay, Brother Subsidin, can we see my slides there?
Yes.
Okay, student academic performance evaluation for foundation regulation. That is what SAPI is about. Student academic performance evaluation. Okay, so for those who new staff, I see some new staff here. I am Tuan Haji Mursyid, retiring soon. Okay, so the student academic performance is the main policy that regulates the foundation program of the International Islamic University. The regulation was conferred by Section 59 of the Constitution of the University. Okay, it was first endorsed in 25th November 2016, as mentioned by Tuan Haji Mursyid just now. Okay, I still remember at that time, Tuan Haji Mursyid, I was transferred in Gambang in 2013 actually. So when the document was endorsed, I was not around in PJ. But we are looking forward. I still remember we have several workshops to what we call endorse the documents. The documents basically is from the Saper undergraduate. I still remember at that time we have the Saper undergraduate, and then because the nature of our program, then we have this Saper 2016. And then coming to Gambang, and then due to the what we call, Tuan Haji Mursyid also have mentioned just now, the restructuring of our program. Initially we have 14 weeks, now we have 12 weeks, a shorter semester and so on. So we need to revise again. And then there are several also issues now. We like to highlight maybe later, just for the information of members. Okay, the Student Academic Performance Evaluation Regulation was endorsed in 481 Senate meeting on the 24th of September 2021. Actually, it's quite recent. Last 3 months ago. We cannot say last year. Last year seems too long. It was a few months ago. And it was effective beginning of semester 1, 2021 and 2022. Okay. So there are some issues with the previous SAPE. There are some issues with the previous SAPE. If you look, the previous SAPE does not address, for example, readmission. If you are well versed, I don't know whether you are well versed with the previous SAPE. Okay, if you can recall, you can go through the previous SAPE. If you look at the previous SAPE 2016, it does not address, Brother Ustaz Rayuni, it does not address the issue of readmission. In 2016 SAPE, there is no clause on readmission. It means that if the student fails CFS, that's it. They are done. They are done. Okay, because the nature of 1 year program. But then we found out that in 2019, a lot of re-admission students, those students who fail. And for your information, this semester, there are 140 to Haji Murshid. So 145 dismissal students. Okay, okay. That is quite alarming. For me, it's quite alarming. So that's why I really hope all the HODs, all the academic advisors, all the lecturers, you really need to look into your welfare of your student, how they are studying, and so on and so forth. That's why the other day, we agree, the top management, to Haji Murshid, me, and also Brother Taifuddin Sham. Actually, in fact, me, I want to bring all the students back to campus. But then, well, having 2,000 students also, we have, I cannot say the numbers to Haji Murshid. We have a handful number of positive cases students. I don't know if we bring 3,000, 2,600 students, how many positive cases will be on campus. But then these are some of the challenges that we need to bring this. Why we need to bring the students on campus, because we have so many dismissal cases. And then the other day, if you look at the results of the first semester, the percentage passes for sciences is 76%. It's quite low. I think the lowest that we have recorded so far. So these are some of the issues on re-admission. So Alhamdulillah, later I will touch on the paper. Okay, re-admission and the clean slate. There is another interesting thing. I think Brother Supi will touch on it after this. This re-admission student, they are eligible to be given a clean slate. Okay, Brother Sufi will, after this, will inform, will elaborate what is clean slate is all about. Previously, I remember during Cik Abbas time, to Haji Murshid, we have the clean slate. Okay, so this is how we help the student. The student, it means that if they pass the paper, some of the papers, before they are being dismissed, it means that that result will be archived. So these are some of the things. It means that we have re-admission, we have clean slate, and then another important thing that is addressed in the new, what we call Saper 2021, is the credit transfer. Okay, it's a credit transfer. Previously, this is not addressed in the, what we call the Saper 2016. If you look now, I don't know how many departments have accomplished what we call the micro-credential, Brother Samsudin. I hope we have not forgotten our promise to Dr. Samsul, the micro-credentials. We promised to Dr. Samsul to offer micro-credential courses. So I like to ask the academic department, how many micro-credential courses have you have already? Okay, so maybe this is Haji Murshid. This is one of the things that we need to look forward in 2022 on micro-credentials. So we are thinking to have a credit transfer among the program. For example, let's say the student have taken the paper. What we call the Saper 21 allow that credit transfer. Okay, I think Brother Supi also will highlight on that. Okay, and then another thing, what is quite interesting in the Saper 21, it can accommodate a graduation the shortest with 2 semesters. Okay, for example, let's say the student exempted English and Arabic, they can complete CFS within 2 semesters. Okay, this is one of the important things, especially those from Darul Quran student, where they will be joining 2nd semester. So with this, what we call, I would say, a special case, the minimum semester for CFS now is 2 semesters and maximum 6 semesters. After 6 semesters, the student will need the endorsement from Senate to be extended their semester in CFS. This is another thing. Academic advisor need to know that. Okay, and then on the Dean's list. So Alhamdulillah, for the Dean's list now, okay, the new Saper technically give a lot of power to the Dean, basically, the empowerment. Okay, so basically the Senate now give all the power to Haji Murshid to decide. Okay, so this is one of the things that I see what is special in Saper 2021 and the empowerment, the concept of empowerment, whereby the Senate, the highest authority of a university in academic matters, authorize the Dean to determine what would be the Dean's list. And currently the Dean's list is basically 12 credit. Okay. And then it also addressed the minimum credit and the maximum credit. Okay, this one also will be detailed out by Brother Sufi. The minimum credit will be 12 and maximum will be 20. And then there are a few things. I would say the new, what we call the new Saper 21 is it's accommodating more than 2016. So that is some of the enhancement that I like to highlight. The rest I think will be highlighted by my team later. Okay. So now if you look at the next one on my slide, okay, maybe I share again. Okay, the detail of the Saper, you can look at the handout given by Brother Sufi. Actually, there is already 2 documents there. Okay, can you see my slides, President Student? Can you see?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, this is what I mentioned just now. It was endorsed in 481 Senate. This especially for the HOD lah, if you want to know which Senate. Okay, now if you look at the paper shared by Brother Sufi just now, or if you look at our website, there is another tab. Just now, I have updated on the Saper 21 under the download part. You can also download that document is there. And so there is 2 places in our website that you can download. So the first part in the Saper basically on citation, application and interpretation. Okay. So if you look part 1, preliminary citation. Okay, citation. This regulation shall be known as the Student Academic Performance Regulation of the University International Islamic University Malaysia. Okay. And then the application, if you look, this regulation shall be applicable to all students pursuing the foundation in the CFS. Okay. But I like to highlight also to all members, especially the HODs and academic advisors. Okay. Our current Saper is amended from the also undergraduate Saper that was endorsed in Senate before. That's why maybe some parts of the Saper maybe need amendment. And that's why we can propose this, Brother Samsudin, maybe we can have another amendment for 2022. Let's say we think that some part need to be amended. Okay, all right. And then on the interpretation, okay, this is quite lengthy lah. I think all the academic advisor you can go through. Okay, you can look, for example, on academic load, okay, academic records and assessment. Okay, all right, refer to the method of tools by university. It's quite lengthy though. I don't want to go one by one. I think it will be very boring. Unless you want to, any part that you don't understand. Change of program. This is another quite interesting, I think, for academic advisors. Change of program. Okay. For your information, all the head of the department and also academic advisors, technically change of program is not allowed in our center. Okay. The initial change of program, this one I need to highlight, especially to all the HODs, because sometimes, you, especially during our promotion campaign, we say to the student, well, you can change the program. Technically, no, because when we take the student, when Ahmad take the student, and when they select the student, we already select the student based on the number of number of what we call vacant places at the center. Okay. So if we simply do allow, because I still receive, for example, until today, still receive application to change our program. No? When we allow the student to change our program, we will disturb the kuliah projection. That is very important. And that's why technically we say that it's not allowed. It's only allowed once actually during the entry process, during the ta'aruf week. That is the only one. But technically, that change of program is allowed because when the student come to the center, there are some empty places. That's why they cannot simply that students are allowed to change. It's not the situation is not like that. Student, I would say, no, like Tuan Haji Murshid also, I think receive a lot of application. We need to look case by case. Ahmad also will consider case by case. Change of program. It's a process of transfer from one program of studies to another within the center of the student has enrolled in the program offered by the university. Offered by the university. Okay. Change of program may be allowed upon ground acceptable to the university. Okay. If you look carefully, it does not state that the student can change the program. No. Okay. That's why all the HODs, academic advisor, I really want you to really advise the student, especially on change of program. Okay. There is nothing stated that the student are eligible to change of program. No, nothing stated there. It only states that change of program may be allowed upon grounds acceptable to the university. What are the grounds acceptable? Okay, what are the grounds acceptable? Okay, maybe the student have problem with their studies, they have mental stress and so on. But this one need to be verified, right, by professional bodies. We cannot simply do it because I receive a lot of application from students just sending an email, no, I cannot study because I have mental stress. Oh, well, everybody have mental stress. I have mental stress. Okay, so we need to look case by case. Okay, all right. And then center refers to university, clean slate. This is maybe another.
Okay. If I may just interrupt.
Yes, please, go ahead.
To change our program, or we simplify as COP, for information of participants in the
you are breaking, Haji.
I mean, to the center. So it is clearly stated that any request for change of program shall not be entertained. So it is already a precondition in that offer that whatever offered, either they take it or they leave it. Once they take it, then we have a right not to entertain. Because mentioned shall not be entertained unless they are come under circumstances that we may allow them to change. So it is our right to decide. It's not their right to apply. So that basically what we need to know. It's stated clearly part of the offer.
Okay. Thank you to Haji Mushid for highlighting it. To correct, actually the offer letter clearly stated, the offer is final. So that's why. But like I mentioned just now, may be allowed upon grounds acceptable. In fact, the university has the right not to allow change of program. Okay, all right. So it's very clear that. So clean slate, very important, means to begin afresh where all previous academic records are archived. Okay, this one is very important. This is what Brother Sufi and the team is doing for those who are re-admitted. Okay, clean slate. Okay, conduct of examination, I think it's quite clear there. Okay, and then course defines an area of study unit. Okay, all these things you can go through. It's quite because this is just the interpretation. The courseworks, course instructor. Okay, course withdrawal. Okay, this is another thing. I think very pertinent to all the academic advisors. Course withdrawal refer to quitting a registered course after drop only period. Okay, so this is another thing. For example, academic advisors, let's say you see the student cannot cope with the subject, well, ask them to withdraw. But there is some of the things. I think Brother Sufi will highlight on that. Okay? And then credit hours, I think you all know, refer to quantitative measurement that represent the learning volume of the academic load. Okay, this one, the Sifu is Brother Samsudin. Okay, CGPA, I think most of you know already, curriculum deans refer to the academic head of the center, and the dean shall be interpreted accordingly as the deputy. Okay, disciplinary offense. Okay, if you look at disciplinary offense, you need to read another document. Yeah, I don't know whether I have this document with me. Just now I've opened this document. Okay, this is the document. You can download it under OLA, under OLA website, Office of Legal, and the Student Disciplinary Rule 2004. In Student Disciplinary Rule 2004, it mentioned also, for example, the case of cheating. Okay, you can have a look at this one, and this one is quite interesting actually. A lot of things is mentioned about the student here. Okay, and for example, misconduct, and then it covers also on examination. It covers also this one, appearance and conduct during examination. Okay, no student shall take any book, paper, document, right, or have it written, communicate with other student during an examination by whatever means. So it's all stated there. Especially the HOD. I like to highlight to HOD because lately there's a lot of case of cheating, but I didn't receive the document from all of you. Okay, except for I got from mathematics, chemistry, and ICT the other day. Okay, and we have actually the other day we have 9 cases of cheating, and then most of them we give reprimand and 1 fine. Okay, so I really need to highlight this thing, especially lecturers. If you found that your student is cheating, please report to ODAM. We will take the next step for that. Disciplinary offense means a disciplinary offense committed under the International Islamic University Student Disciplinary Rule 2004, amended 2006, and any standing order that is mentioned in the Senate. Okay, end of semester, I think you all know. Okay, means an examination given at the end of the course during the scheduled exam period towards the end of the semester There also may be some department without end of semester exam. Then examiners, I think we all know, good academic standing. This is another thing. Academic advisor needs to know. Good academic standing, it means that the student has a CGPA of 2.0 and above. But the problem in CFS, okay, we have also what we call the kuliah entry requirement. Okay, for example, engineering, the student need to get 2.5. That is another issue. Medic, you need to get 3.5. Okay, this is under Brother Hafiz. After this, we have a list, what we call NMR, not meeting requirement. They graduated basically with good academic standing, but they cannot go to kuliah. This is another issue that we need to address. Okay, and then GPA, graduating student. I think GPA, I think everybody knows. Graduating students means a student who is registered for his final semester of the program of study pending completion of all courses requirements to graduate. Okay. This is another important thing. Graduating student. Okay. I think Brother Hafiz will touch on that. Head department. Independent study. This is another interesting thing. Academic advisors, you need to understand this. The concept of independent study is an option for offering a course by the university. It can be a guided self-study under the supervision of a course instructor with proper assessment and grading. For example, I give you an example. For example, this semester, Brother Hafiz, do you still remember how many students still could not graduate, the graduating student? I think we have more than, I think nearly 100, if I'm not mistaken, Brother Hafiz. Okay?
100.
Yes, correct. Okay. So what happened is, this student, they have taken the course, but they have not passed. Well, and another option that we can have them is an independent study. Okay, learning outcome, the SIFU is Brother Samsudin there, means a statement on what which student should know, understand, and can do upon the completion of this period of study. Learning outcome. I think all academic advisors know what is learning outcome. Okay, program of studies. Okay, means a prescribed curriculum, and then okay, another important thing here I would like to highlight here, the readmission. Refers to the admission of student into the same program after being academically dismissed from the university. Okay, so the other day, for the readmission student, we have problem. For example, when the student want to change to another program, so there's two process that we do the other day. One is on the readmission, the other one is change of program. Okay? But most of them basically the other day they go for readmission only, because some department, for example, economic, the other day they don't they don't want the student to be in their department, so they ask them to change program. So these are the things that we are looking into that also. Repeats means.
Sorry, Brother Is. Brother
Yes,
Muzamil has a question.
Yep.
Brother Muzamil, please.
Okay, can
Right.
you hear me, Brother Izhar?
Yes.
Okay, Brother Izhar, regarding to just change of program, just now you mentioned that yang pasal empty place tu by program, right? After student register, then if you look at after you tabulated the students according to the course, and then if we have some courses tu kalau dia masih ada empty place, do we allow if the parents wants to appeal for change of program due to some courses we have empty place? Tadi you just mentioned that lah. I know it is subjected to the university, but if CFS found that still we have empty place for that program, so do we allow if parents want to appeal? That's my question number one lah. Okay. So number two tadi, I come across to the word clean slate tadi, clean slate. Clean slate ni regarding to the readmission. Currently, we have student yang buat readmission and then dia archive dia punya result, which is yang dia archive tu result yang dia pass, which is dia dapat C. Okay, so my question is, if do we allow that students tu dia tak nak archive tapi dia nak reambil semua balik all the course?
Can. They want upon approval of the dean. Can. For example, we have, it means that this one, Brother Sufi will highlight on his part after this. It means that there is a portion whereby you take past courses. Okay, that one Brother Samsudin, Brother Sufi will highlight on that. Okay. Okay, back to the one, your question just now. If there are empty place, actually, during the first week of the semester, I think Tuan Haji Mushid has mentioned just now. Actually, what happened is we together with Ahmad, because change of program is under Ahmad. Okay, so we will look at all the statistics. So what happened is Ahmad will try to fill in all the gaps actually by first week of first semester. Okay, so normally the request should be accommodated during that time. After that time, actually, technically, Ahmad don't allow, because we are disrupting the study process of the student actually. That's why we don't do that. Okay. The end, after the third semester, when they are graduating, we will do the streamlining again to fill up the gap. Okay, that it will be at the end. Okay, I hope I'm answering Brother Muzamil's question just now. Okay. Alright.
I may further add
please,
to the explanation with regard to change of program. Of course, as mentioned by the Izia just now, normally we practice it, okay, and allow students to change subject to vacancies, normally within first 2 weeks of semester. So if they are joining the new program late, at least within the first 2 weeks, still can be accommodated by the respective department. But of course, we do have vacancies even after the running of the semester, week 5, week 6, whatnot, because students, of course, throughout their study, some would withdraw from the center due to better offer overseas and whatnot. So that does not necessarily mean that the student have a right to change, because we won't entertain any change, because we disrupt the study structure as well as disrupt the department. So we receive surely a complaint from the department, right?
The fourth week and so on. Correct,
programs in free and whatnot. So it will disrupt, and even if you have to allow, for example, that's why the reason why we have a second intake, December intake, contohnya to fill in the gap. We have hundreds of students withdrawing from the center of 4,000, for example. So that's why when we are targeting a certain number of students to join the campus, so normally we check up the number. So we are normally taking more than the actual projection number, because we know towards the end of their study period, there will be some shahid, for example, in their struggle, okay, in the past knowledge, the center ni, a few hundred, 200, 300 is a normal number lah, out of 3,000, 4,000 students tu. So that's why we have a second intake. And if we are to entertain due to certain reason lah, whatnot, mental health, with the report, with the supporting document and so on, and say for example second semester we allow them to change, the implication that they need to extend. It's not just merely change, but they need to extend their duration of study for another 1 or 2 semesters, so that to complete what. So, and this is decided not on the capacity of the deans or deputy deans or whatnot. It has to be decided by the Ahmad. We have a admission committee, AC lah. Ataupun if we decided in advance at level, it has to be endorsed by the Ahmad lah. So Ahmad is the doorkeeper. Okay, we are running the program, but the one that have final say with regard to matters related to admission, change of program and whatnot is Ahmad. Okay, and we are members of that committee lah. Chaired by the director of Ahmad.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's why it's very difficult basically to change the program at the middle, because in fact until today I'm still receiving. I don't know who advised them lah, technically. That's, I think it should go back to the offer letter. The offer letter technically is final already. It's mentioned clearly stated there, and the program is final. But we do accommodate on, for example, medical cases, on mental health, but then the rest I think should follow through. If not, we will disrupt the whole system, because our program is 1 year. Technically, and that's why we have in the early and the first or second week tu, that Brother Tuan Haji mentioned, and then at the end, the streamlining. That's it, technically. Okay, so I hope that answers some of the questions. Don't worry, we still have a lot of time actually. Okay, to address all your issues, inshallah. Okay, so I just want to complete a little bit on my slides, and then I pass to Brother Sufi to what we call to fill in the gap just now. All right, and then the Senate. I like to highlight Senate. Okay, means the University Authority which is responsible. This one is very important. Okay, so all matters, later I will show you the document on them. All the matters basically need to, unless it's stated clear in Saper, you need to bring to the Senate. Okay, okay, this is another. Okay, I just want to highlight, Brother Samsudin, can I highlight my part? I want to go through all lah. Then I just pass to my members on my part,
No problem.
part 6 and part 9 just now. Okay, on readmission. Okay, this one is very important, especially the academic advisor and the HODs. A student with no disciplinary offence, that is one thing. No disciplinary offence who has obtained CGPA more than 1. Itulah Tuan Haji Murshid. Because the other day we have some cases where the student is actually have a CGPA of less than 1. May be considered for readmission with the approval of the dean of the center. And that's why, for example, like yesterday, we interviewed the student, 3 of them, and previously we interviewed more than 124 students. Okay, but with the approval of the dean. The readmission shall be allowed only once. What is important is CGPA is more than 1. If the CGPA, technically, some of the students have CGPA of 0. The other day, I don't know. I don't know what is the problem. We need to do a post-mortem, especially the department. Department need to do a post-mortem. Know what happened to the student. Need to help them. Hopefully they are on campus. Okay, so these are some of the issues that we need to address. Okay, readmission shall only be granted to a student who is deemed by the center to have potential to complete his study within the maximum allowed period. That is 1 year, 3 semesters. Readmission shall resume on good academic standing prior to dismissal. Okay, this is what I mentioned just now. Okay, like the question by Tuan Haji, by Tuan Haji Muzamil juga tu boleh tu, insyaAllah. Doa tu pada Muzamil. Okay, so let's say the student pass. We have, for example, medical student the other day. Brother Sufi can highlight on that. This medical student, they pass the mathematics. The marks, the facility paper, but he's not satisfied with the marks because to go for medic, you need to get 3.5. That means you need to have an A. So this student requested to take again the paper. Okay, that is again is allowed upon approval by the dean. Readmission shall resume on a good academic standing. First semester student may choose to remit on a clean slate. On a clean slate. Okay. In fact, the other day, Brother Hafiz, if you can recall the other day, we have a second year student the other day requested for readmission, isn't it?
Betul. Ya, betul.
Dan engineering student Dr. Asli. Science, sorry. Okay. And then I don't know what happened to him. Okay, he didn't attend the interview. Okay, and archive semester, okay, this is very important. And this is highlighted by Brother Uzami just now. And the archive semester shall be counted as part of the period of study. Itu very interesting, Brother Sufi. Archive semester shall be counted as a part of period of study. A readmitted student shall obtain CGPA of at least 2.0 at the end of the semester of readmission, failing which result in dismissal. Okay. This is another important thing, or the HOD and academic advisor. If the readmitted student did not get 2.0, so this is another bye-bye. Okay. And that's why, because I think Tuan Haji Murshid also can counter after this. We have receiving several application from students. They want to go back to their home and they say that they want to study online at their home. Because some of the students that they we change their program because they cannot perform. They requested to change program and then AMAT allow. And then these students are requesting to go back to their hometown. I'm worried this student will not make it again. Okay, if they could not achieve 2.0 by the end of the semester, and shall result in dismissal. Upon dismissal, a dismissed student may apply for readmission. Tu dia, boleh apply lagi pula tu. Okay, and then the last one on my part, general provision and prerogative of Senate. This one is very important. Okay, let's say we have a dispute, for example, or the department dispute and so on. We can bring the matter to the Senate. Okay, the Senate reserve the right to bar, suspend, and dismiss any student from the university or any of its classes whenever such action is deemed necessary in the interest of the university. Senate has the power to do that. Notwithstanding this regulation, the Senate reserve the right to make the final decision on any academic matters. Okay, and the last one is in the event of any dispute. This is very important. In the event of any dispute relating to any section of this regulation, the intention of the Senate shall prevail. It means that the Senate has the right to make the final decision. Okay, let's say there is some dispute and so on. Okay, just my final highlight from me. All the HODs and academic advisors, all the lecturers. Okay, maybe some of you, in fact, some of the dean of kuliah, in fact, ask this. Our new Senate is very, very short, very short and concise. Okay, so there are some other documents. If you can refer to the previous Senate document, the previous Saper 2016, we have Schedule 1 on course registration procedure. Actually, if you can look in the current Saper, it addresses also the course registration, leave of absence, a little bit on assessment, but it's not detailed. It's not detailed. The detail will be in the Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This schedule, this one I have requested with Brother Samsudin. This schedule should be added in our SOP, CFS SOP, and it will be tabled in the next MRM lah. The previous MRM we have not time to do that. This one I need to remind also my team lah, Brother Sufi and also Brother Hafiz. This schedule we need to add up in our current SOP lah, so that all the procedures are intact. Okay, there are a few things that we need to look into it, especially for example online assessment. I think we need to endorse it. Okay, because that one is under Schedule 3. Schedule 3 currently the IUM assessment policy is on face-to-face assessment. Okay, it does not address the online. So these are some of the things that I like to highlight to all members so that you are aware we are doing this. And then administrative order of the conduct of examination, sit-in and also online. And this is what I mentioned, Schedule 4. And then Schedule 5 is the procedure on appeal for rechecking and answer script. Okay, this one also not mentioned clearly in Saper 2021. So this is some of the things lah. And then for your information, everybody, all these document actually we will include in our CFS SOP lah. Especially because I see we have also academic advisors, academic advisors in the group. So these are the academic advisors. We have also ISO committee. I see just now Madam Naimah is joining also. Okay, so these are the documents that we need to what we call control, the control process, so that a CP lah we will add for the CFS ISO documentation. I think that's all from me. Okay, if there is any question I can take or not, I will pass to my members to continue. Brother Sufi lah maybe. If there is no question, I think for the time being, maybe Brother Sufi, you can highlight on the next processes.
Okay, thank you. Dengar tak?
Dengar.
Okay.
Brother Sufi,
Ya, saya, Brother Muzammil.
sorry tak tanya yang student yang readmission tadi just now, yang soalan tadi. Tadi yang dia boleh ambil semula retake all the subject yang dia, even though dia pass. So kita ada inform student tak macam mana yang untuk for these students, untuk dia ada tak option yang kita inform student yang dia boleh take yang pass subject tu? Sebab saya tengok
dia macam ni, Brother Muzammil. Student yang dismissal ni, kalau by logik lah, dia ni ada fail subject. So kita akan archive subject dia yang fail untuk generate balik CGPA yang baru. Jadi kita kena tengok priority lah. Priority student yang request untuk repeat pass courses ni, kita bagi priority kepada student yang clear pass lah, yang tak ada masalah academic dismissal ke apa kan. Sebab kalau kita allow student yang readmitted ni untuk repeat pass courses tu, dia akan tambah subjek dia masa semester yang dia readmit tu. Faham tak?
Berat
dia sepatutnya repeat fail courses kan, sebab dia kena dismiss. So kita nak allow pula dia repeat pass courses kan, so dia akan tambah dia punya academic load. So kita kena tengok priority lah. So bukan semua student kita boleh allow untuk repeat subjek yang dia dah pass.
Okay, because dia can take later tu Brother Muzammil, dia can take later.
Oh bukan, masa dia selepas dia readmitted, maksudnya dia semester 2 katakan dia readmission semester.
Okay, student yang readmitted ni, semester dia readmit tu, kita kena make sure GPA dia above 2.0 dulu. Itu priority dia. Sebab kalau dia fail to achieve GPA above 2.0, dia akan kena dismiss lagi.
That's it.
Untuk
second
semester,
dismissal, that's it. Bye-bye lah.
Second dismissal tak ada opportunity yang sama lah. Dia akan bye-bye lah. Macam Cik Is cakap tu kan. Okay, Cik Muzammil.
Yang tu lah yang sebab you concern is dia punya loading, overload. Tapi bukan bila dia dah readmission semester 2, maksudnya dia akan ada lagi 3 semester, normal semester yang dia boleh finish. Bukan dia akan readmit tu dia akan.
Yelah, saya faham lah maksud tu. Cuma kita kena tengok priority lah student yang boleh repeat pass courses ni. Kita tak boleh nak allow semua. Basically student medik pun yang request untuk repeat past courses ni, kita kena check juga kalau dia repeat tu dia boleh naik tak GPA dia, sebab student ni ada satu semester je dekat CFS. So academic advisor kena tengok banyak faktor lah sebelum allow advise student untuk repeat subject. So dia bukan simply boleh apply dan dean akan approve. Dia tak semudah tu. So dia kena tengok additional factor juga yang boleh buat dia ni kan. Kita tak nak dia repeat past courses, kalau dia drop pula GPA macam mana kan. Sebab subjek dia dah pass.
At this moment ada tak student yang minta tu untuk yang
Ada student medik seorang repeat, dia nak repeat
Medik,
past courses dia.
Tapi dia bukan budak readmission.
Dia bukan budak readmission, dia clear pass lah. Dia cuma nak
Dia
increase
clear pass.
GPA dia.
Tapi jawapan dia boleh lah Brother Muzamil.
Jawapan dia boleh, tapi kena tengok lah, kena check case by case lah, tak boleh allow je.
Bismillah, just a reminder of the members. There are few participants who cannot understand Malay. So main points, I hope that it can be distributed in English, inshallah.
InsyaAllah.
Yes, they
Okay,
can
thank
take
you.
past subject. Brothers and students, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you Tuan Haji Mushik, Encik Is, Brother Taifu, Brother Syamsuddin from Akil and the rest of the members. InsyaAllah, today I will brief part 2 and 3 of the Saper. From my point of view as administrator, I believe it is very important because part 2 especially consists of academic load, course registration, failure to attend registered courses, drop of course withdrawal, leave of absence, and process to withdraw from the university. So hopefully after the briefing we can share same understanding and interpretation lah when it comes to the processes under the part 2 of the Saper. Okay, first on the academic load. So as you can see on the slide, the minimum academic load in semester shall be 12 credit hours, while the maximum academic load is 20 credit hours. So if the student have both English and Arabic in the semester, the maximum contact hours must not exceed 35 contact hours. Okay, previously under the previous Saper, we have minimum academic load of 16 and the maximum academic load is 26. And the maximum contact hours is 36. But in the current Saper, we silent the process, the contact hours. We just mentioned the credit hours that is permissible for the semester. But certainly ada certain program, for instance RK, HS, BAN, BA, Econs Law, yang tak boleh nak achieve 12 credit hours of minimum academic load because of the distribution of the subject. Because kita pusing kot mana pun, akan ada semester yang student carry less than 12 credit hours. Contoh macam IRK, HS, BAN, BA, Econs and Law. It is not because of the study plan is not Saper compliant, it is because of the distribution of the subject itself. Because akan ada semester yang student carry kurang daripada 12 credit hour, sorry. So that's why we need the assistance from the academic advisor if we encounter such problem during the drop session. We have to identify the problem case by case lah. Kita tak boleh simply allow student to add subject because of the study plan. We have to look at the study plan designed by the HOD first. Okay, for course registration, a student shall be registered for courses every semester until graduation requirements are fulfilled. Okay, course registration for all CFS IM students will be managed by ODI. Okay, only the function of HOD and academic advisor during the process is to assist ODI lah, to design and monitor the study plan, especially during a drop session. We need the role of academic advisor to help us engage with the student, to advise them on their study plan. Okay, the study plan is accessible for HOD. We cannot allow everyone to access the study plan because we have to control the access of study plan dekat draft yang kita dah create tu. Cuma HOD maybe can download the study plan and distribute it to the respective academic advisor for reference during a drop session. Okay, Okay, failure to attend registered courses. A student who fails to attend the registered courses may be subject to barring. Okay, this is very straightforward. Drop of course and course withdrawal. Okay, a course may be dropped up to the second week of semester subject to the approval from the center. While for course withdrawal, it is applicable from the third week until the 8th week of a semester. Okay, I have prepared table to help you understand better the comparison between both.
Brother Sufi, there's a question by Sister Khadijah, please.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Brother Sufi, I just want to know, do we have a separate or a different policy for our disabled student in terms of registration of courses? That is, I guess it is a pertinent issue to be discussed also in this Saper. Due to whatever we have undergone last semester, isn't it, right? We have a handful number of our disabled students, and I'm sure there should be a discussion on how to cater the needs of these students. Like some of our students are blind, you know, so dyslexia lah, macam-macam. So do we have
vision impact, not blind.
Visual.
My student admit that she's blind, one eye. The other eye is quite, you know, she has a vision problem with the other eye. Vision impairment. So I really want the university to do something lah to help them. When we discuss now, I mean, regarding the registration of courses, I was thinking about giving them some kind of rukhsah. A leniency. How can we do that for them? You know, I'm trying to. I mean, I try to understand this problem faced by the students. So do we have a separate policy, or is whatever we have now in our Saper, is it also covers our disabled students, or is there any room for them to get some rukhsah lah, some leniency to, for example, reducing their contact hours ke macam mana? Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, Ustazah, the issue is like this. Okay, actually this one, actually we also have taken out this issue. Actually, because we have instruction from Prof. Zita. Prof. Zita actually requested this student need to be reduced. That's why this semester, you know, what happened, actually, Madam Mimi can highlight this thing. Actually, we have a discussion with the HODs. That's why all department, they need to look if they have special needs student, not disabled, I will not call it disabled, special needs student. Some of them visual impaired, some of them hearing impaired. You know, we will reduce their load. In fact, up to the minimum. But
that's good.
That's what we are doing now. Ustazah,
please. I mean,
Mimi, can you share your experience, Mr. Mimi? The other day we discussed with Brother Sufi. Now, how many credit do we give the student? But then the problem is the student also says that, you know, why are you giving us so low credit? You know, so because they say they can do. Why are you giving us so low, reduced load?
That is exceptional.
Okay, Sister Amisa, can you share the?
Maknanya maybe we should cater case by case lah, kot. Wallahualam.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay, if can just interject on this issue with regard to disabled students. Of course, whatever they discuss under Saper is of general applications. Okay, but when it comes to special needs, special regional rule, then it has to be under separate SOPs. And in fact, we mentioned about empowerment just now. And of course, the new Saper actually delegated this matter to the respective KCDI atau to the Center of Study, in our case CFS, decide in which it is of internal process that we can just decide and adjust accordingly to the needs of the respective students. So it shouldn't be an issue lah. But Saper generally is of a general regulations applicable under general circumstances. But there is always an exception to that general rules.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, another thing I'd like to highlight lah. Although the general rule is 12 minimum, but then with the permission of the dean that we discussed, with the permission of the dean, is allowable. It's allowable. We can in fact take, for example, let's say 1 or 2 paper per semester. No issue on that. Okay. For example, just now, the maximum is 20. Let's say the student is a super excellent student, Darul Quran student, super excellent. He can, Ustaz Kazman, they can memorize the whole Quran. They say I can take the whole subject. So by all means, if they didn't allow, we just do it. Okay, Rezafi?
And in
Maybe,
fact, in addition to that, in the recent request by DSU, disabled
yes.
disabled student
Yes,
units, to have access to our
System.
database CFS, so we just accommodate the request so that they can have direct access, especially student and that special needs category, and they will recommend accordingly to the needs of whoever that involved, I mean the students that involved.
Correct.
So inshallah they are working closely with our
But then, so
center.
if the lecturer also sometimes, so maybe we overlook. If the lecturer also found this student having problem, no, do tell us lah. Let's say, that is another thing that we need also feedback from the student. Okay, maybe Ustaz Azmiza, can you share just now? Ustaz Azmiza, the practice that we do just now for the sister, what was Fatin
Azwani.
In fact, maybe just one highlight lah, because Ustazah Siti just now mentioned, actually we go to the extent, okay, Ustazah, that we will reduce their fees. Not only their credit hours, but their fees. To Haji Mushid the other day, Prof. Rezita, asked me to check her fees, and then I check, and then I tell finance, we what we call somehow we omit her fees, to that extent. This student is at the Mahala, you can see her. Okay, Sister Azmiza.
Assalamualaikum. Alhamdulillah. The last semester, there's one student, special needs students, where out of sudden she withdraw from the center, and then we found, to make the story short, since she is a special needs student, then we customize, as I said in our chat room, we customize the study plan according to her need, for example, we have 3 normal semesters, and now her study plan, we stretch it, up to 5 semesters.
Nearly 2 years. But then she query also lah, why until 2 years?
So we are, in a way that I can say, our center is trying in many ways, to help these students. Inshallah.
Okay.
That's why if you have many more students like that you think that we need to reduce, just meet with Brother Sufi, we can reduce it, no problem.
Sebaik ada Brother Mushid dengan Cik Iz.
Okay, please carry on. Okay, but don't worry, the 12 minimum is on the paper, but with approval of the dean, that thing can be reduced, no problem.
Additional remarks lah, Cik Iz. Special needs student also entitled for extra hours during examination.
Extra hours, definitely. Okay, actually the other day I have shared the document with all the HODs. Maybe after this I will share the document again. Okay, to all the lecturers. I think because the other day we already have a session with DSU, but many lecturers didn't attend that session. Actually, the student need to have extra time in all the assessment, not only on the test, whatnot, on the assessment. We cannot simply say, for example, visual impact that you mentioned just now, Ustazah. Okay. In fact, we have the other day one student want to change from engineering to I think HS, because of that reason. But then going to HS, this student need to do a lot of reading. These are the things, because, and then this student is a visual impaired. So you can imagine, this student also cannot go online, Ustazah, because he cannot look at the computer for a long time. It's another thing. So I don't know how this student is learning online. So these are the things that you need to consider. Extra time, maybe they're having problem also, understanding, okay, so on and so forth. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, thank you, Encik Is. So regarding the drop of course and course withdrawal, I have prepared table to help you understand better the comparison between both. So for drop of courses, course may be dropped up to the second week of semester subject to the approval from the center. So course withdrawal, a student is allowed to withdraw from a course from the 3rd week until the 8th week of a semester. For drop of courses, the drop course shall not be reflected in the student transcript, while for course withdrawal, a W grade shall be assigned to courses that are withdrawn. So in terms of fees, no fees to be imposed for drop of courses, while for course withdrawal, a fee of RM 300 non-refundable per course shall be imposed on the withdrawal application. Okay, leave of absence. The process is very straightforward. Student who wish to apply for leave of absence can write appeal to the dean of the center, and then ODI will table the appeal to be assessed in the CCM for approval. So leave of absence may be granted for up to a maximum of 2 semesters. If the student wants to continue the leave of absence after 2 semester, the appeal will be tabled in the Senate for approval. For withdrawal from the university, a student who intends to withdraw from the university shall notify the office in charge of academic management. So the withdrawal form is accessible online in our website. Okay, let us move on to part 3 of the Saper, which is course performance evaluation. Ada soalan tak untuk yang is there any other question for the part 2?
Okay, Brother Muzan, please.
For the withdrawal, because we have 2 different withdrawal status. The first withdraw from the university.
Right.
Second one is withdrawal from the course, and then
Yes.
we use the same symbol W. So any difference tak?
With course withdrawal to refer to the subject
W.
subject withdrawal. So W assigned is at grade of the student, grade of the subject drop, not the status of the student.
So status we still use W lah for the status.
No, the status is active. Only the subject withdraw will be assigned with W subject W grade.
Okay.
So that the subject will not be calculated in the CGPA.
Okay, regarding maximum load to 20 tu, based on the credit hours, do we have any matching with the contact hours tak? Because some courses, they do not provide any credit hours like macam language, Arabic, apa semua English, apa Usra. So dia ada mapping tak tu untuk berapa dia punya maximum contact hours?
Maximum contact hours for language is 15. So that's why I said earlier, if the student with both English and Arabic must not exceed 35 contact hours.
25 lah.
Previously in the previous Saper we have 36.
It's 20. Because the 20 basically, Brother Muzamil, the 20 is basically requested by KCA. Because KCA says that if more than 20 credit, the student have no time to study. No time. They don't have any time. And this is a request by KCA when we table to Senate. That they requested the 20. But I agree with Brother Muzamil just now lah. But just now Brother Sufi have give what we call the equivalent hours. Basically languages, the equivalent hours is there. Okay, Ustazah raise a question just now.
Yes, Ustazah.
Yeah. Ustazah, please. Any question? Ustazah, raise your hand. Okay.
Okay, while waiting for Ustazah, probably if I may just further highlight issues relating to withdrawal from the center.
Okay.
We do have cases where students just leave the center without any official withdrawal letter. So ODAI cannot just simply erase the data from the system. So in the data, the system still stay active until unless we receive official application by the students and the withdrawal is done properly, clearance is made, then only the status will change into inactive lah. Okay. So in cases where the student is no more around but on record they are still active, so the only way of how can we what we call eliminate ataupun erase the student from the system is that non-academic performance. In other words, the student will surely be barred once they
attendance
and do not attend examination. They get a Y, right? For example, fail. Then eventually, then only after they been dismissed, then that's it lah. Cuma we cannot just simply delete their name from the system. So in other words, the academic advisors, the HODs, the department need to be proactive lah in advising and requesting students who have no more interest with the center, who are not continuing the study center, to properly withdraw.
Correct.
Okay? Otherwise, it create difficulties and maksudnya not accurate data lah with the actual number of students, active students that we have with the center.
Correct. Agree Tuan Haji. Tu Ustaz Raya ni ada bagi. That's why the department need to monitor the attendance lah. So this is the role of the lecturers and the department. Because basically the 10% downward tu basically is the responsibility of the department. Only barring is the responsibility of ODAI. Okay, Ustaz Raya ni.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. This is regarding course withdrawal kan?
Yeah.
Is this Saper applicable to academic students?
Yeah. Same SOP.
Because we have one case. The student was denied to attend classes because according to the student, he could not pay the fee. So the academy basically did not allow him to enter. And when we checked the status, he actually withdrew from the center. We don't know whether the academy withdrew the student from the center or he himself withdrew from the center.
That's why you need to check with academy lah. Because not paying is another issue.
The teacher of the administrator from the academy itself. Because I don't think administrator will not allow student to withdraw courses if he or she is allowed to.
Tapi the case is macam, is it right for the center or for the academy not to allow student not to attend because of the tak bayar? I mean, is it okay or is it permissible to do that?
Not permissible. If no withdrawal application is made by the student, so the student is supposedly in the class.
Yeah, that's the problem because he could not join because he said I'm not allowed sebab I have had to pay.
Itulah nak tahu siapa yang tak allow tu.
The academy
tak apalah, itu mungkin separate discussion lah. Nanti I will notify Sister Farida insyaAllah.
You just give the name, we will double check. But that one is under academy lah.
Structure wise, academy is of different entity as compared to CFS. So they are running their own program, but of course sharing similar syllabus, whatnot, even facilities. Those who are doing science program and place in Gambang kan. Cumanya when it come to because they are of business based what we call institute. So of course one of the way of how they change the students so that they have to pay whatever grade is by not allowing lah. That basically is under their own discretion and supervision lah. But I think that basically why it's happened lah. Anyhow, we can always work closely with them so that to give fair opportunity to students lah. But these students are self-sponsored students, not a student that is sponsored by through to a normal MS category ni.
Okay, thank
you. So
you.
Brother Rayani, the student cannot afford the fee for withdrawal, but at the same time the lecturer deny the
bukan, he could not afford the fee untuk he could not afford to pay for the fee untuk the semester tu.
Okay,
the study lah basically.
Okay, I will discuss with you later insyaAllah.
Tengok dia dah withdraw dah from the center.
Student apa? Course apa?
Marcom if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, let us move on to part 3 of the Saper, which is course performance evaluation. I will not touch all the subject because some of us is already in place since the previous Saper. Okay, for grading, this is the grading system we currently use. The grade obtained for each course shall be based on the overall assessment.
Sophie, can you share your screen?
Sorry. Okay, nampak?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. So this is the grade, the structure of the grade lah. The current Saper, the grade obtained for each course shall be based on the overall assessment performance comprising the end of semester examination and or coursework. So the student shall be considered as pass if he or she obtained grade A until C during the final examination. If the student achieve below than that, which is D until F, they are considered as fail and need to repeat the failed courses. Okay. So this is the other grade notation with no grade point. Okay, so if we grade this in the student subject, it will not affect his or her GPA. Okay.
Brother Sophie, one question. If a student did not attend final examination, which grade is it assigned to?
Previously, under the previous Saper 2016, we have
X kan?
X grade. But in the current Saper, we don't have. We
put in
we remove that provision because the rationale of having the previous provision is because of the coursework. If I'm not mistaken, the coursework carries 60 marks. So if the student choose to be absent during the final examination, so the student will be considered as pass. But we put provision that the student is compulsory to attend the final examination so that the the final examination mark will be calculated as well. So in the current Saper, we don't have the X grade anymore.
So what will the student receive?
The student will be calculated based on her coursework.
Okay, thank you.
The marks for the coursework.
But itulah Brother Sufi, that day I'm thinking about maybe we can put ni incomplete tu lah. Because for example, special student, special exam student the other day. Because the problem some of the student they might pass already because of the clear marks.
For special exam we put AP, absent with permission.
Yeah.
What about if students is being barred from examination? So which grade?
But why?
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 Okay.
Okay. So why grade is equivalent to fail lah, which is carry 0 grade point. Okay, I grade or incomplete subject to approval of the dean of the center.
Sorry, just now.
Okay.
Meaning to say kalau dia tak attend the final paper tu, so kita letak 0 lah. Masa
Yes.
kita masukkan tu.
Yes.
Right.
We will calculate the coursework only, the assessment mark. Okay. For incomplete, subject to the approval of the dean of the center, a course instructor or examiner may assign a temporary grade of I, incomplete. The student shall fulfill all remaining requirements within the first 2 weeks of the following semester. Failure to do so will result in the change of grade from I to a final grade based on the completed work. So we have student with incomplete grade in semester 1, 2021, due to academic misconduct. That's why Encik Is and Brother Hafiz particularly trying very hard to conduct and complete the hearing process before the second week of this semester, because we want to restore the grade and generate this GPA accordingly. Because the I grade cannot be because we have to we have to restore the grade before the second week of the semester.
Yep.
Okay, repeat of failed course, very straightforward. This is one, repeat of past course upon approval of the dean of the
Brother Muzammil. Repeat a past course.
Okay, upon approval of the dean of the center, a student with passing grade may repeat a center of study course once. For up to a maximum of 2 courses, the lower grade achieved shall be recorded as RPT and excluded from the calculation of grade point average. Okay. Here we have one student this semester from Medic who applied for repeat for his past course to improve his GPA. So the student appealed to the dean and the dean approved, Alhamdulillah. So the student will be repeating Maths 1 this semester, thanks to Brother Nazim lah, and this is Tamarik Nazlah for recommending the appeal.
Brother Sufi, question. For this process to improve the CGPA, on what reason that we allow them to reduce? Because there are cases whereby their CGPA is not reduced very close to the entry requirement, but it's just leave it like that. So how do you separate the cases whereby they go for repeat and cases whereby they don't go for repeat?
The student request.
The student kena engage dengan department lah. Should get advice from the academic advisor and the HOD first before submit appeal to the dean, because the academic advisor and the HOD will look at case by case basis, because not all students can be allowed to repeat the past course. We have to look at other several factors as well, such as the CGPA and the ni lah kan.
And then the duration lah.
Yes. We cannot allow student to extend his or her study period because we have to graduate student on time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, alright.
Brother Yorani has a question.
Yes, Ustaz Ayani.
It's very simple, inshallah. Brother Sufi, I would like to know the spirit of this Saper kan. We know the spirit is to empower us, the dean, the center. But when it comes to engaging dengan student tu, do we need to sort of educate them, promote to them? We have disciplinary practices, repeat of past courses, we have audit, we have rechecking.
That's why we have academic advisor and the HOD. You all need to advise the student.
Yeah, I know, but our spirit is that do we promote or we basically student
put in the website?
You have to because
the student can read it.
Because that's why we make it accessible in the website. So that the advisor, HOD and student can revisit the Saper.
And then the HOD, this is the role of the HODs, the academic advisors to advise the student. In fact, if the student come also to the department, also we advise them. You are the
Students-
frontliner.
Student yang request untuk appeal Max 1 tu, he read Saper actually. He read the
Itulah,
Saper.
dia kalau dia baca, tapi should we macam the department promote ataupun
Yeah, why not?
raise awareness?
I am promoting it.
Oh.
I put in the website. In fact, in my briefing. Basically, it's the role of the department. That's why we bring the student back to the campus, so that to have the engagement. That's why I've been telling to Haji Mushid. We want the lecturers and students to engage each other. That's the thing. Okay? That's why. In fact, I want to bring the art student also back on campus.
Okay, thank you, Cik Is.
Okay.
We have Brother Azrael. Nanti boleh buat
Brother
program
Azrael.
untuk student agaknya kan.
Yeah, good. Great.
Okay. Receipt a graduating student who failed in a course may be allowed to receipt subject to the approval of the dean of the center. Okay, if the student achieves CGPA or fail more than 2 papers, they will be advised to repeat the semester because the result of receipt exam will not affect the CGPA. Okay. Auditing process allowed for student who intends to audit a course. Audited course shall be graded as AU in the examination system, which does not affect the grade point average. The student auditing a course is not required to take the final examination, but must satisfy other course requirement, failing which a W grade shall be recorded. Okay? Okay, this one, credit transfer. Subject to the approval, this is a new provision under Saper 2021. Subject to the approval from the dean of the center, a student may apply to have his credit for courses taken at other institution or the center transferred for the purpose of fulfilling graduation requirement. The approved credit transfer from the institution shall be assigned as exempted courses with EX grade. So last semester we have students from IUM Academy apply for credit transfer. So the student originally graduated from CFS IUM but later joined IUM Academy and was offered different program. So of course the student choose not to repeat the past course during his or her time at CFS kan. So they apply for credit transfer at CFS. Alhamdulillah, the dean approved and the student are happy with the approval lah. Alhamdulillah. So, okay, that's all.
Brother Sufi,
There's a credit transfer.
question?
If I may add, boleh
Boleh.
Okay, looking into the future with this what we call plan for micro credential that we offer. Okay, portion of subject, right, or the whole subject depending on the suitable needs of time of students. Even for example, immediately after student completed the SPM, what we make the program available online that they can take it before joining the center, and suddenly they manage to pass and later on join the center officially through UPU, for example, then they can apply for whatever subject that they passed earlier to have this credit transferred into their actual study, so that they can save their time of study, the duration of study, and reduce the credit hour taken. That actually the plan lah with regards to the credit transfer ni, combined together with micro credential and whatnot.
That's why
It's sort of a business. When they take it at their own leisure time, at their free time before joining the center, they have to pay, and that's how it translates into generating income lah to center at the university.
Yes.
And I believe for a few years to come, this is going to be a common phenomena lah among higher institution.
Boleh letak dalam SOP ke, Cik Is?
Boleh. Okay, just one highlight lah on the Ustaz Rayuni punya comment just now. Actually for your information, Ustaz Rayuni and also ni Ustazah Nina Al-Hafiz juga tu. Semua orang kuat-kuat dari Al-Quran. Okay, actually we are preparing a paper lah for your information. Nanti tu Haji Mushid is aware. Actually the other day we requested Salpad, because this student they are taking English and Arabic at the Quran. So insyaAllah we are preparing I need to make the paper lah technically because they ask CFS to make a paper. InsyaAllah we will table in the next CCM lah Haji Mushid on the next week insyaAllah. So that this student, because there are some technicalities on that lah. One on the EPT APT tu kan. Okay. Although they have taken but they have not taken the EPT APT. So and then the other one we need to synchronize the syllabus that they are taught in the Quran and also with ours. So that is some of the things. But this one is actually under SALPET. But we are trying to get the what we call the approval so that they will be exempted. Okay. Ustaz Adi is there. Actually, just now I requested Ustaz Adi to prepare the paper. Inshallah, we will work on that. Inshallah. All right. Ustaz Kazman also. Okay, Ustaz Kazman, we are working on that. Inshallah.
Okay, let us have Brother Hafiz for the next presentation.
By the way, for everyone's information, inshallah, hope that we can end it in 12:25 since we have Q&A in the middle of the presentation there. So I regard the last session there is also already integrated. Okay, so I would like to welcome Brother Hafiz, please.
Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Hafiz bin Hashim. I'm from examination unit. I will try to explain briefly about the in the Saper part 4 actually. Okay.
Please share the screen, Hafiz.
Okay. Okay, everyone can see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you make it larger?
Sure. Okay. Is it okay for you guys?
Larger, a bit.
Okay, sorry.
Bit.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Okay, part 4, which is assessment. Assessment 23.1, registered students shall be assessed for all courses taken unless they are excluded from assessment. Okay, point number 2, a student's grade in a course is determined by the assessment method weightage in the course outline. And number 3 is the components of assessment may be administered in any approved form and subject to conditions specified in the course. I think the assessment will be familiar among the academician, right? So I think we go to the COE.
Okay, sorry, wait, Brother Hafiz, I have one question. For 23.1, unless they are excluded from the assessment, can you, what are some conditions that is like that, unless they are excluded from any assessment? Or anyone can also help.
Maybe it's already defined the course outline, something like that.
Unless they are, that means in what cases that they exclude?
The course outline states that, well, there should not be some assessment.
Maybe audited subject, is it?
Yep, definitely audited subject.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That's why they put the clause there.
Okay. So we continue to the Center of Committee of Examiners. Okay, in this part in Saper, it explains about the function and the members of the COE members. Okay, first of all is the introduction will be they shall be committee examiners for the center as empowered by the Senate. The committee shall be responsible to the Senate for the conduct of all examinations, the accuracy and validation of course, results and grades by performing the following duties and functions. So ABCDE will be the function for the COE. Okay, to appoint members for each department or each specific area of studies, to provide overall supervision in the conduct of examinations in the center, to ascertain that all examination questions are properly vetted so as to maintain the academic standard required by the programs in accordance with the standards stipulated in the IUM assessment policy. Okay, next, to review, confirm and endorse final grades submitted by individual course instructors to the deans of the center. And the last one is to determine the dean's list. Okay, the function of the, this is the function of the COE, Center Committee of Examiners. Okay, so this is a 24.1 is a structure of the COE. of the members. So it will contain a dean first, and the second one it deputy deans, which is Odai, brother is, and last one will be department heads. Okay, department heads from all departments.
Okay, brother Hafiz, just I like to highlight tu the on the ni just now. Okay, you hold on the slide. Okay. To review, confirm and endorse final grade submitted by individual course instructor. Okay, I like to highlight this because lately ni we found many lecturers who submit their marks and then suddenly after COE they say that, well, I did it again, I make a mistake. That is a very critical, for me it's a very critical what you call error. Because technically though, when the result has been endorsed in COE, it is confirmed, cannot be changed. So the lecturers is subjected to disciplinary hearing technically. You need to really justify why you have made a mistake. So I like to highlight that because this one has been highlighted by Prof. Gary the other day. Anything being endorsed in COE technically cannot be changed. But then normally we send the request to our dean. It depends on his justification. But then I like to highlight on D though, to review, confirm and endorse the final grade submitted by individual course instructor. So I like to highlight all HODs. When that thing is endorsed, it means that it is endorsed. Okay, thank you very much. Okay,
in addition to that, because this is something serious. Because we have a few layers before you reach to the final endorsement by COE, right? At the course level punya level, course coordinator punya level ataupun course kita panggil apa? Course leader punya level, and then at departmental level. So this is where you need to really scrutinize details, of the results. Make sure that it's tally, with whatever evidence that you have, before submitting to the COE for further discussion and endorsement. Once endorsed, basically it's a finalized version of result in which that based on that we will announce to students. So suddenly after few days or few weeks time, suddenly itulah ada surat-surat cinta datang. We try to consider, but whatever it is, we consider as a very serious academic misconduct on the part of the respective teachers who involved, and normally you follow up with a love letter lah, with a warning letter. Cumanya by right, as mentioned just now, we should have a proper internal inquiry, so to make sure that it won't repeat for the future, and for others to take a lesson as well. So please the HOD make sure that you remind and you monitor lah, because it go through your table before it reach to the COE. Alright. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brother Is and Tuan Haji Murshid. So we could 24.2 also said about the structure of the COE. Okay, chairman of the Center Committee of Examiners, the dean of the center should be the chairman, which is Tuan Haji Murshid of the Center Committee of Examiners. Secretary to the Center Committee of Examiners, the chairman of the Center Committee of Examiners should appoint the secretary and establish a secretariat for the Center Committee of Examiners. So I think this is more to just want to inform all the questions about regarding the members of COE. Okay, next we go to the examination committees. Okay, and examination committees should be established.
Okay, this is the your highlight just now, Ustaz Rayuni. Is in the Saper also It's in the Saper also if you look and examination committee shall be center department checked by the dean or head of department respectively is in the Saper. Okay, thank you Ustaz Rayuni, because just now you mentioned in the comment.
Okay. So the committee should consist of at least 3 members from the center with the following functions, which is A, to vet end of semester examination question. Okay. B, to review and approve the final grades submitted by course instructor.
To review and approve the final grades.
To review and approve. Okay. So the last one will be to submit the final grades to the Center Committee of Examiners. Okay. And next we go to the end of semester examination. End of semester examination should be held starting from week 13 of the semester. Okay, so our final exam will be start from week 13 of the semester. So this in this part, I want to highlight on the uh, uh, for the lecturer to submit list of invigilator and list of no final exam or decentralized in a stipulated time that we are given. Otherwise, it will affect our process to make a preliminary timetable for final exam on the respective semester. Okay, so we go to the absence. Absence during end of semester examination. A student is not allowed to be absent actually from end of semester examination without a valid reason acceptable to the dean of the center. So I think in previous semester there are two types of reason that we can call it a strong reason, which are the medical reason and the natural disaster reason. Okay, we have one cases that one student could not sit for their receipt exam because of his family stranded from the banjir masa tu kat rumah dia. Flood. So he cannot sit for the receipt, and then we can consider for the natural disaster reason too. Okay. So next, the center shall record an examination grade based on the coursework marked for a student who is absent without valid reason. Okay, I think this is a very straightforward. So we continue to decentralize. I think decentralized in of semester exam also, I think quite familiar with the admission. Okay, decentralized end of semester shall be conducted anytime from the last day of class until the last day of exam period. Okay, this is a time frame for the decentralized end of semester examination. So next is a course instructor who wish to conduct a decentralized end of semester examination shall get the approval of the dean of the center. Okay, so the last one will be decentralized end of semester examination is mandatory for courses with less than 10 students. Okay, student excluding courses which are conducted in multiple sections.
Because yes, Brother Hafiz, because the other day, there are some views that say that we do not need this decentralized exam. There is a provision for decentralized exam because of this, one of the reasons. And if you have less than 10 students, you should go for decentralized, not so decentralized exam. Because the other day there is some view that we should not have this decentralized exam, we can just have end of semester exam. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay. So number 39, we go for special exam. Special exam examination should be arranged for a student who was absent. Okay, who was absent from the end of semester examination on reasons acceptable to the deans of the center. I think this one also is quite straightforward. And a student should not be allowed to defer special exam without a valid reason acceptable to the deans of the center or otherwise should be graded on the coursework marks. Okay.
Brother Hafiz, there's a question by Ustazah Adila.
Yes, Ustazah Adila. Please.
Assalamualaikum, saya nak tanya. Dekat dalam Saper ni hanya tulis valid reason ya. Tak ada ke list of valid reasons yang allowed by the center sama ada dekat annex ke apa. Satu itu untuk final exam, lagi satu untuk midterm ataupun test. Adakah applicable juga valid reasons yang sama? Okay, thank you.
Untuk dalam Saper ni memang setakat ni tidak ada spesifik punya valid reason.
Valid reason normally Ustazah is determined normally due to a meeting lah, because special exam because normally we have a special sitting meeting, so normally we discuss because we discuss in the COE for special exam lah. But under test whatnot is under the department. But the department can consider lah, for example on medical, and then the medical definitely we will give, and then for natural disaster definitely we will give. Okay, but now lately there's a lot of issue. For example, the student says that they don't have unstable internet connection, whatnot. That's why we like to request the student with unstable internet connection, for example, family problem, whatnot, they need to return back to campus. Because we will not consider that as a valid reason. And technically, no, for me, if I die, we just consider medical as a valid reason, and maybe natural disaster, for example, flood, whatnot, cannot be avoided. Okay, so this I would say, and then lately the COVID, they have medical, but COVID falls under medicals, medical issues. That will be considered as valid. But the rest, I think, because this student will give a lot of excuses.
That's why I ask. Sebab tu lah Cik A saya tanya.
The rest should not be considered.
Sebab bila kalau lah sama ada ODAL, boleh keluarkan satu, mungkin tak ada dalam Saper, tapi mungkin boleh buat list of valid reasons accepted by the center. Lepas tu kita disseminate to the lecturers and the students, it will be very clear lah. So tak adalah student boleh argue. Kita tak ada list tu, kita tak tahu. Jadi dia bagi macam-macam excuses tu.
Dalam SOP.
Okay. Correct. We can put that in the SOP lah. But it will be on the
the way when we regulate certain regulations, we normally do not include certain things, because once you include, I mean whatever that is included will not be considered as part. So we leave it open, and it is for the committee to decide.
Correct.
Other than common reason like medical reason and whatnot, okay, but it has to be supported by evidence. The rest, it is discretions of the committee to decide. If you have to list down, then suddenly it come a new issues which is not in the list, but we need to consider, since it is not part of the list, then kita consider. So that's why, I mean, we leave it open rather than we come up with yang when you start to listing, then you started to narrow down the limitation. That's really how the legal drafter looks when they draft a legal document.
Correct. To put in Saper, I think it's not advisable lah. But then to put in the SOP, I think insyaAllah lah.
But at least a common understanding should be there lah among the HOD, among the academic advisors, that this is a type that probably is highly probable to be considered by the committee based on the current practice.
I think it's a good idea also to tell the student, you should not make your own letter.
Dia tertidur lah, tengok keluar dan sebagainya, which is not a good excuse lah.
Correct. Okay, Ustaz Rani tu.
Brother Hafiz, can you scroll up and go back to 29.2? Sikit je, atas tu sikit je. Yeah, this one kan, a student should not be allowed to defer, then shall be graded on the coursework mark. So basically, if the student deferred lepas tu, does it mean that dia akan pass? Contohlah the CAM tu above the passing marks kan? Can you explain further about otherwise shall be graded on the coursework marks tu?
We have one case like this, Ustaz Rayuni, this semester tu. Ni under Brother Nazim lah. Brother Nazim, are you around, Brother Nazim? We have one student due to he did a special exam, and then during the special exam, his house is affected with flood, so he cannot attend the exam. Right? Okay, so that will be reasonable, acceptable by the center. So we need somehow to give, and then Brother Nazim also can accommodate. He says that he can accommodate. So then we are preparing the exam yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, kan Brother Nazim kan?
Already send the result.
Already send the result. So this is what it means by acceptable. That is why somehow we accommodate. Otherwise, let's say Brother Nazim says that, well, this is a real issue, flood, isn't it? But let's say Brother Nazim says that, tak payah layan budak ni, biarkan dia lah. Graded based on the coursework mark. Okay?
So does it mean the students
very clear. But is it fair then to do that? It's not fair.
No, I mean the question is, does it mean the student pass or fail the course?
That one depends on the coursework. What do the student get on the coursework?
Because sebelum ni practice kita, the moment you miss the final, you macam automatically fail the subject.
Oh no, that one is receipt. This one is special exam, Ustaz Rayani.
Only special exam.
Special exam, a little bit different.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
Alright.
Okay, so we can continue to the barring from examination. Okay, the dean of the center may bar a student from taking the examination in the case where the student fails to meet of any of the requirements of the course. A student barred from an examination shall receive a Y grade, which is equivalent to an F grade, irrespective of coursework performance. So the student, okay.
This one is very important though. I like to highlight to all the academic advisors and HOD also. If the student just simply skipping the class, whatnot, just bar the student, and then he will get an F. And then that will be included in the CGPA. That's the punishment there. Okay, so I like to highlight to all the HODs, because some lecturers, they say that tak apalah, budak ni kita nak tolong lah. That's the problem. Okay. So when everybody is helping like that, it's not helping the nation. That is the problem. Okay, what about
Okay. So we will continue to the official course results. The grade for any course shall be endorsed by the Centre Committee of Examiners, which is COE. The student shall be notified of the course grade by the office in charge of academic management. So this will be or die. We will notify on the course grade, but for the results. Notwithstanding the above, the university reserve the right to withhold the course grade of a student based on the recommendation of the relevant university authority. So university have right to withhold the course grade of a student, okay, based on the recommendation of the relevant university authority.
Okay, this one also I want to highlight 31.3, because we have some issues the other day. For example, the student cannot view their results. It's not us who we are helping the results. It's, for example, finance, security, mahalah. That's the issue. Because the other day, a lot of students say that they cannot see their results. We need to check who is we holding their result. It can be awesome, it can be finance, they didn't pay their fees, and so on and so forth. So this is what it means by reserve the right to withhold the course grade of a student based on the recommendation of the relevant university authority.
Okay. So 32 is about rechecking.
One question. Any cases of that happens in CFS whereby we hold their result?
Yes, there are many. There are many.
Example, what kind of cases?
They didn't pay their, for example, they have summon, they didn't pay their fees, and then they have, for example, sometimes summon ada mahalah lah. I remember at one time, Brother Abu, they summon all the students who, simply didn't take out their belongings, whatnot. And then
saman lah, basically saman.
Kena kita. Masalahnya, the problem is order also we cannot check who is holding their result.
Betul.
Okay, noted.
Alright. Itulah, there is another problem lah. So the student keep calling us.
Assalamualaikum.
Yep.
Sorry, nak tanya regarding the result tu kan, I think last semester those student yang dismissed from CFS, they did not see the result, tapi dia tak ada problem with the finance and whatnot. Kenapa?
Definitely. There is another reason why they cannot view the result. This is a policy of the university lah. That not much I can do about that. But actually, according to ITD, because this is policy of the university, because when the student is dismissed, and then next semester, the new semester, they cannot use any system. It means that all the iMaklum system and so on, and they cannot access. Okay, that's the issue lah that we have the other day. Because currently we have, if you can recall the other day, we have 142 dismissal cases. So that's why we have many. But that is a policy of the university. So I cannot do much on that. But if they call or dial, we can check now whether they are dismissed or not. But the other day, that's the problem that we have the face. Our brother Sufi and brother Hafiz, we have to take 142 calls. Why they cannot view the results? Okay, so hopefully this semester, I really hope all the lecturers take care of your student, don't dismiss them.
Basically, dismiss student automatically dia punya status we change into deactive kan. They mean the system deactivate the status of student so that he cannot access anything lah. Unless we re-admit again, then only become active. Cuma dismiss student ni normally below 1.67 and below lah the CGPA for the first semester tu.
Betul.
So lah, hopefully this semester it will improve lah. But on the policy wise of the university, not much I can do about that. Because I checked with ITD that the ITD Gombak, not our ITD. They say it's a policy of the university, so not much we can do that.
Okay, right. Thank you, Brother Is. So we go to the change of grade. Change of grade is actually explain about the rechecking process. Okay, a student may apply for rechecking of his course grade, and a change of grade may happen. Committee of Examiners may initiate rechecking of the course grade in the case of irregularities, and a change of grade may happen. Change of grade shall require recommendation by the Centre Committee of Examiners and subsequently endorsed by the Senate. Okay, so every student can request for the rechecking of his result or her result. Okay, and Odai will be initiate rechecking of the course grade in the case of regularity and the change of. So we will bring the result to the COE meeting. Okay, then we will endorse by the Senate. Right. Okay, so the last part, part 5 is academic.
Okay, brother Hafiz, 32.2 is quite interesting too. I like to highlight to all the HODs lah. The committee of examiner may initiate rechecking. And you can reinitiate rechecking if there is some irregularities. No? Okay, so please use that power. Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Okay, last part will be academic standing. Okay, 33, good academic standing. A student is on good academic standing if a CGPA of 2.0 or its equivalent and above is maintained. So if the student get a 2.0 below, then he is not in a good academic standing status. Okay, so a student who has obtained a GPA of 3.5 and above has registered for the minimum academic load and passed all courses taken is eligible for the Dean list. So this is a requirement for the Dean list. Then the student will have to obtain GPA of 3.5 and above and register the minimum academic load, which is 12, and pass all courses taken is eligible for the Dean's list. So he will not eligible for Dean's list if he has failed 1 or 2 subjects. Okay, he must to pass all subjects, then he will awarded as a Dean list. Okay, next is academic probation. A student shall be on probation if a CGPA of 2.0 but not less than 1.67, which means 2.0 but above 1.67. Okay, so the student will be in probation. A student on probation shall carry an academic load not more than 18 credit hours. So student in the probation status, he has to he cannot carry not more than 18 credit hours. Okay, so the last one will be the academic dismissal. The student shall be dismissed from the program if a CGPA of less than 1.67 is obtained, or the student fails to earn CGPA of 2 or above while on probation. So while on probation, okay, so the student obtains probation for the 3rd time.
Okay, this one need to highlight, Brother Hafiz. Okay, this one I like to highlight to all the HODs because we have one case the other day. A student on PB for the 3rd time. It's a dismissal. Okay? This one is clear because we have one student the other day. No, he asked us why he is dismissed. Well, he was on 3rd time PB. Okay?
So I think that's all from me. Okay.
Readmission covered already.
Covered already, readmission.
Alright.
Okay.
So pass back to Brother Samsudin lah. Any question?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, thank you very much for the presenters by Odai. I would like to open, it's 12:33 already, but since during the presentation also there's already a lot of questions in the discussion there, let's just open for just 1 or 2 calling of any questions to be raised. Going once. Yes, Madam Ustazah Asia, please.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
I just need to re-establish. I just like to request the center to re-establish back the tilawah classes, because what I observe among our students, they are quite poor in their Quranic recitation, and we feel responsible before they leave us in this 1 year time at least. Allah Alam.
Okay. Haji Mursyid, you want to respond to that question? I can respond, but pass to Haji Mursyid first.
Okay, shukran Ustazah for the suggestion. In fact, the matter was raised in the level meeting. In fact, based on the current setting, tilawah come under the direct supervision of CELPAD, so that's why they have tilawah teachers under CELPAD. But unfortunately, as of now, the tilawah classes only offered at the undergraduate level. So for CFS, based on what we used to have it earlier, in which that was taught by our ASO, Assistant Religious Assistant Officers. But now officers are now placed under the mosque office, so that we don't have, and they are given different assignment, so we don't have any more tilawah teachers lah at our level. So the most that we can do as of now is the various tilawah class that is initiated, which are initiated under the mosque, which is open for staff as well for students with assistance of DQ student and whatnot. But that is at a small scale approach. But I do agree with you, and kalau tengok as of now, until unless we really serious the matter and it has to be followed by proposal, and we need to really fight lah at the university level to show the needs and the necessity to have such classes at our level, then the possibility is there lah. Cuma mungkin Cik Is nak tambah something lah, probably new input on that.
Okay lah, yeah, correct. What Tuan Haji Murshid mentioned is correct actually. In fact, that there are some discussion lah, but we maybe I can try to discuss back with Saper lah. Yeah, we can look. Tuan Haji Murshid lah, if everybody, all the academics are serious about it lah. Because initially, if you remember during my tenure lah, when I was taking care of leadership and training, we have tilawah at that time. In fact, we have tilawah entry test and so on and so forth. And then in fact, the result, can go up to Gombak. I remember at that time, like a credit transfer, something like that. So we have that initially, but then during the restructuring of the mosque lah, I think Tuan Haji Murshid, during the restructuring of the ASO, all the assistant religious officer, they are transferred to the mosque. So at that time, that's why they take out the tilawah lah, because at CFS nobody is willing to teach at that time. But if everybody is serious about it, maybe you can initiate, and we can initiate discussion with Saper. Maybe Tuan Haji Murshid,
Cuma sekarang ni Saper based on response at the higher level meeting is not that keen enough lah.
Yes, definitely.
Request to have this tilawah classes at the foundation level, because it involve teachers, transfer of teachers to new area and whatnot. But we may try lah again.
Yeah, correct. We will, maybe I will throw the question. We are having a meeting with Saper, Tuan Haji Murshid. Maybe we can throw a question. We have a look. How best can we deal with it? Thank you very much for the suggestions.
Right. Barakallahu fikum.
Alright, thank you for the question. Probably open for another question. Should there be any? Opening once. Opening twice. Alright, okay, thank you very much. Okay, I believe that it's time for us to end this discussion. Okay, I would like to thank everyone for the participation of this discussion as well as this briefing. I would like to also remind that to make sure to enter the attendance link, as well as later on, inshallah, there will be an announcement by Akil, and a link of quizzes will actually be released, so that everyone here and also outside, for those who cannot join this, may be able to access the recording and then achieve the same learning outcome by answering the quizzes. Hopefully, full marks will be rewarded. You can take as many time as possible, just to make sure that you enter your staff name and staff number. That's it, inshallah. So please wait for the quizzes link, inshallah, later. After
so the quiz is open to everyone, including the dean, deputy deans, and
yes, everyone, yes, everyone, inshallah. But you can take as many times as you like. But we will record the full mark only lah. So it's assessment for learning, inshallah. Not to judge people or to condemn people or what. Okay, Allahu alam. That's it. So let us end this session with tasbih kafarah and suratul subhanakallah. Alright, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much.